The greatest threat to your kingdom isn't Saladin, it's your own body. Chapter 1. The Boy King. Imagine you're 13 years old, and the adults around you discover you can't feel any pain. Most kids would think, awesome, no more scraped knees. Unfortunately, that's not why everyone's suddenly looking at you with worried faces. A famous physician watches another child pinch your arm over and over again. The other boy yelps in pain. You don't even flinch. That's when he realizes the terrible truth. You have leprosy. In the 12th century, that's about as good as a death sentence. There isn't a cure, people fear the disease, and many believe it's a punishment from God. And just to make things slightly more stressful, you're also the future king of Jerusalem. No pressure. Most kings spend years preparing to wear a crown. You spend those years wondering whether your own body is slowly turning against you. When your father dies, the crown is placed on your head. It's heavier than you imagined. Not because it's made of gold, but because every kingdom around you is waiting to see whether a sick teenage king is about to become their greatest opportunity. To the south, across the deserts and mountains, one name keeps appearing in every report your advisors bring you. Saladin. He's clever, patient, deeply respected. Unlike many rulers around him, he isn't interested in fighting fellow Muslims for power forever. He's bringing them together, one city, one army, one alliance at a time. At first, that might not sound like your problem. But then it becomes your problem the moment you look at the map. Every time Saladin gains another ally, the kingdom of Jerusalem looks a little smaller. Every victory he wins without fighting you today becomes another army that can fight you tomorrow. So while most teenagers might spend their afternoons learning to ride horses or impressing their friends, you're sitting in war councils with men twice your age deciding where armies should march and which castles can still be defended. Nobody cares that you're young, nobody cares that you're sick. If you make one bad decision, thousands of people could die. Chapter 2. A Sultan Rises. Long before anyone in Jerusalem starts losing sleep over your name, you're just another ambitious commander serving under powerful rulers. You weren't born as a powerful sultan that everyone would remember. You earned that title one campaign at a time. You ride through Egypt, Syria, and the surrounding lands, defeating rivals, negotiating alliances, and doing something that's surprisingly rare in politics, convincing people to follow you without having to fight every single one of them. Honestly, that's impressive. Just trying to get 5 friends to agree on where to eat is already difficult. Talk less of trying to unite entire kingdoms. Little by little, it works. Your influence grows, your army grows, your reputation grows. Soon, people across the Islamic world begin seeing you as the man capable of accomplishing what others couldn't, bringing divided Muslim territories together. But one obstacle refuses to disappear: Jerusalem. The holy city remains under Crusader control, protected by castles, knights, and a young king whose illness has become almost as famous as his courage. Your advisors speak confidently. He's only a boy. He's sick. His kingdom won't last. You listen, but you don't underestimate opponents simply because life has been unfair to them. If anything, you've learned the opposite. Desperate leaders often fight the hardest. Across the border, fresh reports arrive on your desk. Saladin has united yet another territory. Another ruler has joined his cause. More soldiers are marching beneath his banners than ever before. The room falls silent. One of your commanders finally breaks it. My king, if he keeps growing stronger at this pace. He doesn't finish his sentence. He doesn't have to. You already know how it ends. You walk toward a large map spread across the table. Your fingers trace the roads leading into your kingdom. Every route feels like another door Saladin could one day walk through. For a moment, neither of you is marching. Neither of you is attacking. You're simply preparing, watching, and waiting. Because both of you understand the same thing. The first move in this game of kings won't be made with a sword. It will be made with patience. Chapter 3. The Desert Chess Match. The waiting doesn't last forever. Small raids begin appearing along the border. Villages burn, supply caravans disappear. Scouts return with stories that somehow get more worrying every time they open their mouths. Neither kingdom is ready for one decisive war just yet. So instead, both of you start playing a dangerous game of testing each other's strength. Every move you make is really a question. How quickly will he respond? How many soldiers can he spare? Is this a trap? The desert slowly turns into the world's largest chessboard. The only difference is, these chess pieces hold the lives of thousands. Then, everything changes. Your scouts gallop into camp, barely able to catch their breath. My king, Saladin has crossed into the kingdom with a massive army. You immediately know this isn't another border raid. This is an invasion. You look around your command tent. The numbers are not encouraging. Saladin has tens of thousands of men. You have only a fraction of that. The safest option would probably be to surrender. Instead, you ask one question. Where is he now? Maps are unrolled. Messengers race in and out. Every hour matters. You can't beat Saladin in a long war. So, you have to beat him today. Far across the countryside, confidence spreads through your camp. The reports all say the same thing. Baldwin's army is too small. His kingdom is divided. His illness has only grown worse. This campaign should finally break the Crusader kingdom once and for all. The soldiers march almost unopposed through the countryside. Some even begin believing the hardest part of the campaign is already over. That's usually the time when life decides to humble somebody. One of your scouts rides back at full speed. His horse looks almost as exhausted as he does. "My Sultan!" You step outside your tent. "What is it?" "The king." He pauses to catch his breath. "He's coming." You frown. "Of course he's coming." "No," the scout says. "He's coming here." Silence. You were expecting Baldwin to stay behind the safety of his cities. Instead, he's marching straight toward the largest army in the region. That wasn't the answer you were expecting. Chapter 4. Against impossible odds. Your advisors think you're mad. Some politely suggest waiting for reinforcements. Others skip the polite part entirely. "My king, if we lose this battle..." You already know the rest. There won't be another army. There won't be another chance. You climb onto your horse and look across the men gathering behind you. Knights, infantry, pilgrims, farmers who picked up weapons because there was nobody else left to defend their homes. They're all looking at you. Not because you're the strongest man there, but because you're the king. Your hands don't work like they used to. The disease has already begun taking its toll. Mounting a horse isn't as easy as it once was. Holding equipment is becoming harder. And yet, here you are. The order is given. The army begins moving. Dust rises into the sky as the cavalry pushes forward. Every man knows the odds. Nobody bothers pretending otherwise. Across the battlefield, another messenger comes racing towards you. "My Sultan." You don't like the expression on his face. "What now?" "They're attacking." You blink. "Now?" "Yes." "How many?" He hesitates. "All of them." You look toward the horizon. Sure enough, a line of Crusader banners is charging straight toward your army. For a brief moment, you're genuinely confused. This isn't what outnumbered kings are supposed to do. They're supposed to hide behind walls, delay the battle, negotiate, pray for reinforcements. Charging headfirst into a much larger army wasn't in your calculations. You quickly begin shouting new orders. "Form the lines, recall the foraging parties, get the cavalry back." Your army is powerful, but it's spread out. Many soldiers aren't even in formation yet. They thought they had more time. You suddenly realize the one thing Baldwin has that you don't. The element of surprise. And sometimes, surprise is worth far more than numbers. Chapter 5. The Miracle at Montgesard. The distance between the two armies disappears frighteningly fast. Your horse pounds across the ground as knights lower their lances. The kingdom's banner snaps violently in the wind. Behind you, men who should probably be terrified are somehow charging even faster. At this point, there's no room left for second thoughts. You give the order. The charge crashes into Saladin's army before many of his units have fully organized themselves. Confusion spreads through the battlefield. Officers shout conflicting orders. Soldiers rush to find their positions while Crusader cavalry tears through gaps that shouldn't have existed. The plan isn't complicated. Hit hard, hit fast, and don't give the larger army time to become the larger army. Across the battlefield, you watch the attack unfold with growing disbelief. This wasn't supposed to happen. Your scouts told you Baldwin was weak. Your generals expected him to defend the cities. Instead, the sick teenage king has just slammed his entire army into yours before breakfast. Honestly, you've got to admire the commitment. It's an absolutely terrible idea, unless it works. You begin reorganizing your forces, trying to restore order. Bring the cavalry forward, protect the center, don't let them break the line. But every new order arrives just a little too late. The momentum belongs to Baldwin. The Crusaders keep pressing. Your formations continue breaking apart. Soon, the only sensible decision left is the one who every commander hates making. Retreat. You order your army to withdraw. The Battle of Montgesard is over. Against overwhelming odds, Baldwin has won one of the most astonishing victories of the Crusades. Chapter 6. A Victory and a Warning. Celebration spreads through the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Church bells ring, soldiers cheer, People who expected to be mourning instead find themselves celebrating a victory that almost nobody believed was possible. For one glorious moment, it feels like you've stopped history itself. You ride through Jerusalem as a hero, not because you've conquered half the world, not because you've become the richest king in Europe, but because you proved something far more important. Leprosy hadn't defeated you, fear hadn't defeated you, and neither had Saladin. Still, when the celebrations finally quiet down, you return to your chambers and remove your armor. Your hands ache, your body feels weaker than it did before the battle. The victory was real. Unfortunately, so is your illness. You know something your people don't want to admit? You won the battle, but you didn't win the war. Miles away, the journey home is painfully quiet. Defeat is never pleasant. Defeat after believing victory was guaranteed somehow feels worse. Some commanders blame poor organization. Others blame bad intelligence. A few quietly blame simple overconfidence. You listen to every opinion. Then you fold the map and stand up. No more underestimating Baldwin. That's all you say. Because now you understand exactly who you're facing. Not just a sick king, not just a teenage ruler. A commander willing to gamble everything on one perfectly timed strike. The next time you meet him, you'll be ready. And that's exactly what makes the future so dangerous. Because while one king is becoming weaker with every passing year, the other is becoming stronger. The game isn't over. It's only just begun.